Welcome back to the Daily Drop. We are moving through the month. Can you believe it's almost the end of September? It's crazy. And I'm actually really thinking with myself here. We're conversing over here. And I'm wondering, do I have the capacity to keep this up? Because I'm loving these Daily Drop episodes. If you're loving them too, I would love to hear from you just so that I can have something to respond to. And maybe we'll keep going or go maybe to twice a week. I don't know, but maybe change the cadence up a little bit. I feel like we're almost a year in here. And it would be interesting to do something a little different. The Manny Jen in me always wants to do something a little different, you know? Do you remember the Dove commercials? They were absolutely beautiful commercials. And they had a sketch artist come in and they had the woman describe herself. And the sketch artist drew this sketch of her. And then they would have a stranger come in and describe her. And the way that the stranger described her was absolutely beautiful. And that sketch was breathtaking compared to the one that she had described herself for. And it just has me thinking about all of the ways that we get conditioned away from ourselves and all of the things that we think about ourselves that are simply not true. And I had an experience of this. It was actually a beautiful experience over the last couple of weeks. I am a contractor in Bodygraph Chart World. It's a human design company. The owner, Giddis, he sent out a survey to our members asking what they thought of me and what they thought of my personal brand and what words came to mind when they heard my name and all of this stuff. And when I first saw the survey, I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. This is awful. I don't know want to know what people are saying about me. And I was kind of in angst over it because I thought it was going to be just one question. What do you think of when you hear the name Vicky Dixon? And I was like, okay, he was going to ask for 3 words. And then it ended up being, I don't know, 8 or 10 questions. And I was mortified and really kind of nervous about what was going to come up because, all of the things that we think about ourselves that aren't true, right? And all of the things that are true about ourselves that we don't think are actually things that are worthwhile. And the things that people said were absolutely beautiful. And he made this little collage of some of the words that they said: powerhouse, contagious, energetic, angelic, fun, clear, dynamic, enthusiastic, communicative, light and honest, generous, joyful, approachable, magnetic. And I was like, wow, because for my whole life, I've been led to believe that I am none of those things. I've been led to believe that I am too intense for sure, too quiet for sure, too subdued for sure. And I know when I'm in the room with people, I know that I light up, and when I'm in a group atmosphere especially, I'm just like feeding off the energy of the group. And my human design is all about that. I have strong penta energy. I have the energy to hold a group of people. My 4629 channel just stabilizes the group without me even doing anything. I'm built for mutation and innovation, and I have all of this energy in my body. But it was never okay to have all of that energy in my body. It was never okay to be the full version of myself. One of the messages that I got when I was younger was about people who were too happy, and I'm putting that in air quotes. But that was actually a thing in my family, that people were too happy or smiled too much because there was this real underlying thing that it couldn't be real. So I've had a real time in my life of allowing myself to experience joy, because it feels like if I allow myself to experience joy, that's something that's wrong. And my work is joyful. We were driving the other day and Pete said something to me about like, oh, I should be excited about this thing, but I'm not really that excited. I feel like I'm going to work. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm the most excited when I'm going to work. I love my work. And that just wasn't a message that I received when I was younger. So it's just really interesting. It got me thinking about that commercial, and it got me thinking about how we see ourselves so differently than other people see us. So today I'm asking you, what are you not seeing in yourself that others see? What are the gifts that you need to recognize in you, especially if you're a projector type? If you do not recognize your gifts, the whole rest of the world won't recognize your gifts and won't invite you into the right things that you're here for, right? If you're a generator type, you're not going to get the things to respond to if you are not marinating in your gifts. If you're a manifester, how can you initiate the right things if you're not in the energy of appreciating what you're actually here to do? You really need to understand the impact that you're here to have. If you're a reflector, we need you now more than ever. We need you to evaluate how we're doing. We need you to mirror back what is going on with us so that we can kind of get our shit together here. We're all in this together, and every single type plays a role. And if you're not standing in your power, then you can't do what you came here to do, and the right people can't bring you into their world. There's a quote that I absolutely love, and it's, "A woman standing in her power is the revolution." So, whether you are a woman or a man listening to this podcast, I invite you to stand in your power and become the revolution that we need on the planet right now. Each and every one of us is needed, and each and every one of us has gifts. Those gifts need to be shared. And in order to be shared, we need to understand that we have the gifts, right? So start with your human design chart, look at all of the goodness that it holds there for you, and then just go out and be that in the world. Do whatever healing work you need to do around all of the ways you've been told that you're not okay, and come back into your power.